It's game time, we ain't playing with you. It's game time, it's game time, we ain't playing with you. That's how we ball for y'all.
What up, what up, what up, what up? You are rocking with Tupac. Yo, thanks for joining for episode 101. Round of applause. Man, summer's almost here and things are already starting to be crazy. So, what else just do? Let's just jump in some new topics for today. I think like a couple of weeks or last week, we still kind of worry about the hantavirus. Now we're talking about the Ebola. Ebola that is heavily spreading in Kenya. People are dying like flies, catching the virus. It's like a tragic situation what's going on in Kenya. But now we're looking at it nationally and seeing how far is this gonna go. They're doing different precautions to make sure it doesn't spread to America. Still hasn't had America sightings, but now we're at the point that we want to make sure this stops. Trump already kind of just said that he wants to have a facility out there in Kenya, but people in Kenya is kind of like, well, why are you having the facility out here and not in America? Obviously, we don't want anybody with the disease to even come to spread in America. Um, So that's kind of the big issue where we don't want this to be no outbreak. We've seen it before, we've been down this road, and we have to put things in perspective where we have to try to stop it before it even spreads. Trump had a few interesting things to tell people to not really be scared and don't worry. But the people we all been down this road before. We still ain't forget when Trump said, "Oh, don't worry about the coronavirus. It's nothing," and then turn around, it was a pandemic. So, what he had to say.
Americans be concerned about
Yeah,
Ebola?
I'm concerned about everything, but certainly am. I think that, it's been confined right now to Africa, and but it's something that has had a breakout. I could ask Bobby or Oz to say a couple of words about it if you'd like.
Today, we do have an announced today at the press briefing. There is an American that is symptomatic and has tested positive for it's the Bundibuja virus, a strain of Ebola. That American, as well as 6 other high risk contacts, are going to be taken out of that region and taken to Germany. We want to thank our German counterparts. That is an internationally recognized location for viral hemorrhagic fever treatments. Right now, there are no cases of Ebola in America. We want to keep it that way, and we are doing everything we can to support Americans in the region.
Americans be concerned.
So it's saying we shouldn't be concerned. We shouldn't be concerned, even though Kenya is definitely spreading like wildfires out there. And I hate to say it, it's a messed up situation where the Kenyan people are wondering like, oh, is their lives more important than American? But at the end of the day, it's not. It's can't see it that way because at the, it's just we just don't want it to come over here. You know, sure, I agree. If it's stationed over there, he wants to bring all the people who even has the symptoms or even affected with the Ebola, have it stationed in Kenya. But I will say this: if we're gonna work with Kenya to do that, then I think they should have some access that we should help them provide it, to try to stop it. Or, try to work with some of their facilities and make sure everybody, because they said if they do have that facility in Kenya, only American people are allowed to use it. So that part I understand and I wouldn't agree with. But we got to start making protocols for ourselves. And so they went ahead and started talking about what they're gonna do with the airlines. Any country that has person that was affected with Ebola, we're gonna make sure that it doesn't affect our country. They want to do a screening at the airport for the travelers who's traveling back and forth from the countries that are affected. And I think that's one of the reasons we should try to, go ahead and start doing that because we don't want this to get out of hand. We want to make sure we're ahead of the game. We want to make sure we're ahead of everything. So these are the precautions I hope they do take. Hope they do take this. They said it's starting at different airports. So we'll see if that comes in effect. And we just got to keep an eye on that because that's not in play with. It's definitely not in play with. And they're not doing too good out there.
Major American airports, now the exclusive entry points for any flights arriving from countries affected by the ongoing Ebola outbreak. Washington Dulles, Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta, Houston's George Bush Intercontinental, and New York's JFK will screen all passengers who have traveled to South Sudan, Uganda, or the Democratic Republic of Congo. According to the CDC, those travelers will head to a designated screening area, complete a brief questionnaire about their travel history and symptoms, have their temperature checked, and undergo additional health assessments if needed. Non-U.S. citizens returning from those nations, including green card holders, are temporarily banned from entering the country. Public health officials say screenings are crucial to stopping the virus from spreading. This morning,
We got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. Especially now, they're kind of nervous about because we have the FIFA. We have the World Cup coming to New York. So it's going to be internationally. Everybody's going to travel just to come over here. So we can't mix any of that at this point. We can't have this. Like I said, it's starting to, the warmer the weather, more events starting to happen, more gathering is going to start happening, and we cannot have not one person catch this thing because it only really takes one to really spread this. So we'll keep an eye on that and pay attention, and hopefully they take this serious and they see how it's affecting the countries and do what they have to do to block certain people not to enter the country if they even have symptoms. We'll pay attention to that. So, but another thing that everybody still pay attention to is the war with Iran. I feel like it's like a deal or no deal. Because people saying that they had the no ceasefire extension from the White House. They said they're not gonna extend it. But they're still supposed to be in negotiation. But Iran is still out there striking different U.S. base and what anyway. Sorry. So is this like the ending? Do we see this ending anytime soon? Because they're still kind of going back and back and forth, even with the negotiations. But there's still missiles are still being launched and still strays still closed, and that's part of the negotiation that they want to make sure they put in place. But so what they have to say about that?
Conflict between the United States and Iran appears to be escalating once again. Following the latest U.S. strikes on Iran, Iran has claimed that it targeted a U.S. airbase in Kuwait in a retaliatory response. According to Iran, the attack was carried out in response to recent American air operations in southern Iran. On the other hand, according to U.S. Central Command, Iran launched 5 suicide drones near the Strait of Hormuz, which were destroyed by U.S. forces. The United States says all these operations were carried out under self-defense. However, Iran has described them as a clear violation of the ceasefire. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghai said that Iran will take every necessary step to defend its national sovereignty. Meanwhile, Kuwait has also confirmed that it intercepted hostile missile and drone threats. Kuwait's foreign ministry also strongly condemned the attacks, calling them Iranian criminal attacks. On the other hand, President Donald Trump has warned that if Iran does not accept U.S. conditions, large-scale bombing could begin again. What do you think? Could this situation turn into a major war?
I hope not. I hope this doesn't turn into a major war. I feel like it's like a deal, no deal, or what deal? Because they don't, some people say they don't understand who they're talking to. But according to Trump's administration, they're in a negotiation with somebody and they're making a deal. So how long is this gonna draw out? It's always saying it's close, soon, soon. And we don't see how soon this could actually really be. You know, But everybody's still waiting. We're waiting. It's still costing taxpayers money. The gas is still prices are still going up. So it's definitely a serious thing that they need to get this under control. But it's not. It's not looking like they're going to end anytime soon. But I hope. Because how do you have a ceasefire but nobody's paying attention to the rules? Hey, people still bombing, and then you retaliate because they bombing. So that's really doesn't make too much sense to me. But yeah. But talking about Trump, man, what is this? What he's talking about? This $250? Anniversary is coming up from $250. So he wants to be on the actually dollar bill. There's not even a dollar bill of 250. So I don't understand where the conversation was where he wants to be on the bill. But so sad to say.
That no living person can be on U.S. currency, and the currency must say, "In God we trust." So right now there is proposed legislation that in front of the House, in front of the Senate, to change the first requirement so that a living person, Donald J. Trump, could be on a $250 bill.
For what? For what? Like, had all the things going on, he worried
I
about
don't
being on the
think
bill.
that there's anything untoward about having the President of the United States, the person who was President of the United States, on the 250th anniversary bill. At
Yeah.
present,
Yeah, there's other things to worry about. To be worried about some $250 bill. People saying like, "How you want to be on $250 bill if you don't have $250 in your pocket?" It's just like not best interest of the people. We're not thinking about putting another person on the bill. We're trying to put money in our pocket. Worry about who's on the bill, but the things that they think about. And also, but I will agree one thing that's proposing and supposed to be passing the Sunshine Protection Act. You know, th- Donald Trump again. He says he thinks about just keeping daylight savings, getting rid of it. I mean, and I agree in that certain extent because it is costing billions of dollars, wasting billions of dollars, just to do this daylight savings. And then I was just hoping when they do the daylight savings, keeping it the same, or just when they get rid of it, that 'cause I mean, I personally like to when it's wake up, sun's out. I don't want to wake up when it's dark out. You gotta go to work or go to, they say kids go to school, whatever. But I like it when you get home a little bit later, but it's still light out. If it's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, now it's starting to get a little bit darker. That's pushes the time a little bit better. You know, um, because when the winter time hits and it's like 4 o'clock, it's already dark. It's like it definitely throws down the mood for everybody, and people kind of get sleepy at 4 o'clock, 4:30, because you look outside, there's no light outside. So if they change that I don't mind that. I don't mind that, especially if it's gonna save billions of dollars. Um, but this one he had said that, and the first time he had talked about it.
Or on Sunday, when are you going to get rid of daylight savings?
Okay, are you ready? So, this should be the easiest one of all, but it's a 50-50 issue. And if something's a 50-50 issue, it's hard to get excited about it. I assume people would like to have more light later, but some people want to have more light earlier because they don't want to take their kids to school in the dark. And it's a little bit one way, but it's very much a 50-50 issue. And it's something I can do, but a lot of people like it one way, a lot of people like it the other way. It's very even. And usually I find when that's the case, what else do we have to do?
Well, now so he's very supposed to be an approved, and then hey, if it saves money and puts back in the people when they save these billions of dollars, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So we'll see if that actually gets passed and approved. It's already being approved, so we'll see how that sits in effect and how that actually works. Because we know what didn't get approved. Talking about $1 billion, that $1.6 billion that he was about to give to people who was involved with that whole uh, jumping over the Capitol and and being arrested and being all that stuff that, he wants to give them people parts of the act, separate funding that he actually took out. So that's under investigation, and they're looking deeply into that because they feel like some of that money is corrupted because he's getting caught up with the stock market things. They have a lot of film when he just kind of just every press conference he kind of just tells people what stock market is about to rise. He's kind of just pushing it itself. Looks like it, but they gotta do some explaining where they came up with this $1 billion funding out of nowhere, and where's it coming from. So that kind of was on hold for him, but you know, we'll see if he goes. He gotta explain. He gotta go to the judge. They have to explain where he's coming with up the money and see from there. So people still on the edge of that, just feeling like is that taxpayers' money that he was getting this money from? So hopefully it's not, and he gotta answer somebody to the judge to that. So, but everybody's definitely paying attention and seeing what that's gonna happen from there. You know. But talking about all this daylight savings and work and all that stuff, boy, them figures, man, them figures. And I'm like, it had to be the figures going, doing all the hard work. The Helix 2. They was actually with the robot. They was streaming, but it was actually working. It looked like kind of like an example if they working in the factory, they had packaged over said 249 packages, 1,000 packages, and over a 200 hour like on their feet without nonstop. So they're kind of testing to see how this thing would be, or just looking at it how it would be in the future of just regular workers. And this is how it look. Celebrating. I'm like, yeah, well, y'all celebrating, but this is like future things that gonna take you to jobs. This is what I can talk about when it comes to Blue Goldbank, man. Be on your feet for $200, no break, no one giving nothing. You had a live stream. That's just showing you the direction that the workers at see they rather have. And you got companies downsizing and cutting already, that already like the thousands of employees he got rid of. So it's gonna be a shift. It's definitely gonna be a shift. Like I talked about all the robots and things like that, but just to see it actually happen, ugh, it's scary. It's so scary. So scary. But this is the future. So it's kinda like hopefully they have to work with us and we kind of find some solution to keep jobs going or creating new jobs that you got to learn and working with the AI and working with the robots and then go from there. That's what, keep an eye on that. Talking about some scary stuff. Well, it's not scary. It's actually graduation. It's graduation to the New York Knicks, man. Round of applause to them. Eastern Championship final, man. That's what I'm talking about. Getting rid of the Cavaliers like that. Man, sweep again. Another sweep. Now it's on to the finals, the NBA finals. That's what I was like. Yo, I was hoping they was gonna get there. I was seeing who was gonna be in there. And now we know we going against the Spurs. The Spurs, boy. I kind of wanted the Spurs. I wanted the Spurs because I like the matchups. I like all the matchups, especially with Wemby. Got Towns, Robinson said he's gonna play, even though he's had surgery on his pinky. But we like to get that pinky, man. You push through it, push through it, push through it. So everybody's ready for that. Brunson's, they're ready for that. Everybody's been well rested, so and the city's ready for that. It's damn sure the city's ready for that. It's gonna be what's the Cam Spike said?
We win the championship. It better be on the road.
Well, if they win the finals, just stay home. Just stay
Man.
inside. If they win the finals, it's going to be a riot. It's not going to be a celebration. It's going to be a blackout.
Yo, Wow. Damn.
They're gonna next go to the final is like Jesus return. But James Harden, fuck them strip club. Get the fuck off the strip club.
Hey,
Donovan Mitchell, we not delivering to your house no more, nigga.
the Domsky shots he got too, boy. He gonna need riot gears, all right. Hopefully, everybody's nice and peaceful. You gonna just have fun and celebrate. You know, good. But they pump.
The National Guard right now.
Get the National Guard.
Knicks are here,
Hey,
The Knicks are fucking here, baby. Taking it all the way. New York, they put it. I said it.
So everybody's pumped up, man. Everybody's pumped up. Everybody's pumped up. So, but this is gonna be, you know, like I said, it's not over yet. You know, it's not over yet. We're still gonna give it all that they can give. You know, first game's coming up, so it's in Spurs town. So we gotta go ahead and take early. We gotta go there, dominate, take the crowd out of it, play team basketball, show them how we've been playing throughout the whole year, and then bring back to the Gardens, and then keep going from there, and keep going from there until it's actually the trophy celebration. You know, so that's definitely everybody's gonna be tuned in watching that, and it's gonna be some games that I feel like, hey, Knicks gotta just keep going and keep doing what they're doing, keep winning. You know, so can't wait to see those games. Can't wait to check those out. But talk about winning, man. Yo, Drizzy Drake, man, you know, congratulations to Drake breaking the Michael Jackson record, you know, for all the most songs on the Billboard. And he didn't really care about the Billboard, but he always said him one way from Michael Jackson beat it. So there he is. He broke the record. Also got a #1 album. You know, of course, I told the Iceman that's the album, you know. But #1 album with Billboard. So yeah, he's having a hell of a comeback where people thought he was gone, but I never seen him. You know, I ain't never doubted him. But you know, everybody doubted him, went against him, so he's just proving everybody wrong again, showing what he's been doing, what he's capable of, and how he's been doing it. So yeah, salute to Drake, you know, and we can't wait to keep, you know, this other music. His music's still going for the summer. Still got a bunch of tracks. Listen and play and keep going over and over. 40+ tracks. It's nothing, you know. It's nothing. So I know he's definitely. I'm happy about that situation and got that out the way. And now, you know, that's why he got the Michael Jackson love. So yeah, congratulations from that. But talking about Drake, man, you know, the Roots, you know, they had the Roots picnic over the weekend, and it looks like Jay-Z, man. Jay-Z was the main attraction, and he did nothing but show out. He did nothing but show out, but he showed out and sure he responded to Drake. Well, you know, because he always said the jig is up and won't take the 500,000. You know, I'd rather just instead of taking his advice. He never gave him the advice. So Jay-Z, he listened. He still got his ears to the streets, and he listened to Iceman, you know, and he responded to him on multiple occasions. But let's get into some of the tracks that Jay-Z, man. Jay-Z, he was dissing a lot of people. You know, Drake caught the stray, Dame Dash caught the stray, Nicki Minaj got the spray, Tory Lanez got this. Man, he went down a list. And it was a little 4 minutes, but
911 is a joke. Public enemy #1 op in rank. The rock's not crumbling. The leprechauns have magically run out of pranks. Your son on a federal jail line mumbling something about having too much in his drink. You know how dumb that is? Another one fumbled his, wonder how I get the blame. Niggas' teeth is tumbling out their mouth and somehow I'm the one who done this history gang. You had to catch Kyle and thunk it. What you punked is, I'm the one who strung the pain. That hill you can die on. It's way too much flat that comes from those plains. I'm killing them softly. What's understood don't need to be explained. You want it one way, it's the other. I still on you suckers, I'm mauling you niggas, gang. I ain't much for me, it's no how. Cancel the brunches, I remember the hunger pain. The price of the bricks going up. It's gonna cost you a beat to even say my name. You ever heard of the Wonder Kid? My children is some of them. Have you niggas no shame? Y'all trying to get under skin? I really get under skin as unharmed player. Y'all thumbs with y'all thumbs again. Everybody think they're the ones insane. You know, maniac. Watch y'all saniac in my presence, nigga, shrink. I need a new therapist. This shit is not working. I'm truly on the brink. Y'all better not encourage him. Y'all don't want me to think these thoughts that I think. That nut-ass nigga still stuttering. That chatty patty down on his luck again. Quest introducing me to Jaguar. I don't know why I still fuck with him. You wonder why I do the freestyle rehearsal. That lady back on the stuff, she sound like she in love with him. Her kid can't even take their kids. Enough of them. A rapper can't be my eye. I got MAGA Republicans. Them shots came from the very top of the government. Good luck with them. I'm governed by God. You trying to break the government. I rained for 40 days. My neck get flooded again. Wrist get flooded again. My net worth went up again. My next update, the jig is up. Nigga, I'm up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Niggas look up the hole. I never looked up to them. The crackers got your punishing gangster. Go talk tough to them. Don't talk success to me. You niggas is workers. In perpetuities, how your contract is worded. Don't make me go first. Man. The roots remember, even when the trees pretend, not too much of my name.
Right.
Don't forget who I am.
Right.
Patty loves her Shawnees. S-H-A-W-N. I find it adorable she put the S at the end. You don't know, the show ain't even begin. I said, you don't know, the show ain't even begin.
He's paying attention. He's paying attention. He's paying attention to Dame Dash. Paying attention when Nicki had the rant. Paying attention to Tory Lanez talking about the Rock Nation and all that stuff. So he had words to say. Like, and he summed it up quickly in the 4 minute. And then Drake, for him to, say what he had to say about him, he's paying attention. So it was different to see Hov. And then the concert was, we'll talk about the concert, but the concert was the way he put it together was actually phenomenal. The way he mixed the songs in the different songs that he chose, and then to bring out Freeway, the Rockefeller, basically, Beanie Siegel, Young Gunna, Meek Mill, Kitty Crack, like to have that Philly to do it there, that was special probably for him, because this looked like Hov even said he missed it. He missed it, missed performing. It's been a while since Hov performed, so it looked like he's having fun. He would let his hair out. Glad he let his hair out, because that style was all right. You had it, you ran through it. Now what else? So it's gonna be interesting to see what was Hov gonna get braids or what he's gonna do next with the style of his hair. People were wondering what he's gonna do next, but it was cool for him to have an afro out to this, have it for the Roots picnic, and also pay homage to the Roots and what they've been doing 30 years and getting to them again. So all that was great show. It was a great show, and he did respond. So that's his hip hop. This is funny how he responded, and he said wasn't going to respond. Like, he said when in an interview, he kind of contradicted himself, because he said he didn't really want, why hip hop going to be competitive, but he must change his mind. He's like, yeah, you know what? This is hip hop. And then, like I said, he not thought he was making some music or something. So these are his inspiring of his words to answer it, sum it all up in bars. And that's what Jay gonna give you still. Like, don't forget who Jay is and what Hov is. So it was cool. It was definitely cool to see. And then now you got the concert coming up. Definitely Yankee Stadium. So that's gonna be another crazy thing. And I could see him probably, like I say, probably drumming up some music. Got some music probably working on. He was sounding good in there. Somebody actually put something together with cleaning it all up. So I don't know if that's gonna be official freestyle. That's gonna. Yeah, so that was good to see Hov to put everything together, and it said he put on a nice set there. So for him to respond by all the little diss tracks and all the drama, that kind of put it all in one freestyle and got it out the way. But I also heard like somebody put everything kind of together and smoothed it out. So I don't know if he's gonna release that freestyle, because that doesn't sound fire altogether, like no stops and no pauses. that sound old when they put over a nice beat. That was crazy. So I don't know if that's gonna be the official remix, but he used what I heard. That's dope. That's dope. But yeah, so that was a cool celebration. It was a surprise for everybody, and that was a joy to watch. And Jay Z didn't look like he missed a step, so that's always good. And it's cool to see all the Rockefeller together, and it just brings you down memory lane, learning hearing all those songs. You know, those are hits for everybody. If you was part of that hip hop era, so definitely dope, definitely dope. So yeah, can't see wait till hear them Yankee stadiums. You part of the Reasonable Doubt, or you part of the Blueprint. It looks like you're still gonna get a hell of a show. Either way. Uh, Sticking on music, man, Luda, man, he had that talking about afros and stuff. Yo, Luda with his new video, Pull Over. Ooh, man, that brings you back what Luda did. Just to see that was fire, man. He was like the original kind of just of the animation and all those videos. Like he always got A1 videos when it comes to when it comes to that. And that was just cool to see again.
Never seen a mighty like
Crazy, crazy, crazy. So looking at that video just again is just hilarious. He just mixes comedy with it, does different things, is with the eye popping out, with the 3D, two people. It's just everything's created when it comes to that type of video. And that's what we look for Luda to have. So that joint is hard. And the single sounds hard too. So it's definitely a ludicrous track. So to hear him put out this track, I'm sure he probably working on the album and can't wait to hear that when that comes out. But that joint was dope. That joint was dope. But talking about that type of stuff, let's get into some music, some music, man. Well, not even music. Let's get into movies. Some movies and talking about movies, Scary Movie, and yeah, that's coming out. Everybody's dying to see that thing. That joint is gonna be crazy. Just checking out the previews. It's crazy how he had his whole family in there, yo. I seen something out there, so but play a clip when he had all that.
We heard I'm a Republican now, so I'm supposed to be racist. I think all white people are racist anyway.
You haven't aged a day. You've aged like a million days. That's this many, right?
Yeah, your fingers smell like genital.
Okay. We back.
Red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. You moved.
Ghostface eliminated.
He stabbed her. My pronouns are they, them. He stabbed them.
Look at all the Wayans spur out here.
To have all these
Until you have multiple Wayanses in there.
We back.
I am Greg Wayans.
Hey, what's up, huh?
I was drafted with the 11th pick in the Wayans family.
Sweet. We squad deep. It's good. You're teaching the young ones how to do it. There's me, Sean, Lil Damon, Kim.
This white girl can't die on my shit.
I love working with brothers.
I'm a
All of it just makes me wonder why
The whole family dynamic.
It's like a big reunion. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be super Wayans. So
His original cast is back. I got to see my dad on camera.
My daughter, Marlon's son, and my son doing a scene in here too. Which uncle does the script feel most like? What's up, y'all? Definitely Marlon. I call it Shorty Movie 6.
Well, yeah, definitely. That movie's gonna be. I can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see that in the theaters. I mean, that's gonna be flashback, and it's all original. From the characters coming back. Now they're gonna start playing with all the scary movies that been going on. Man, I seen. Oh man, it's gonna be like you said. It's gonna be none but laughs, none but comedy, and it's gonna be edgy. So people definitely gonna push the envelope, and it's gonna bring back comedy, man. It's gonna bring back that certain wake of comedy to the theaters. So it's always definitely good to support them too, and that Wayne's family. So I can't wait to go out and see that and support them. So that's definitely coming up June 5th. I wanna watch that. Talking about comedy, which is not even funny, but since 50 Cent posted on his IG, I guess he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind. But on the black web or whatever, on Twitter, X, wherever you want to say, videos rolling out that what they had the scene with, we talked about Daphne, 50 Cent baby mama, and they had a videotape, but when she was trying to play victim, but it doesn't look like she ain't playing no victim, she's definitely there for the money, and Diddy had her on tape, and Diddy was on tape his damn self. Yo, Diddy is a wild, wild boy. Hey, it's not a crime to be that freaky, but damn, he loves some damn baby oil. Gosh, he put baby oil everywhere. I can see why he had so much baby oil. This guy used 2 buckets of 2 bags of baby oil in like 10 minutes of a scene. Like he just kept dumping. I was like, oh man, that's definitely Diddy. I was like, is this AI? Is this AI? Because things you can't really tell if it's real or not. But that look like Diddy. That's Diddy moving the camera and all. I was like, oh my gosh, But it's crazy. It's crazy. To see that type of footage to release, and I don't know who released that, but I have a feeling Diddy the type of person probably didn't send that to 50 or send him a clip of it or something. That's probably why he just don't like Diddy, and he just knew what he had, and he knew these type of things probably was out there prior to. He just probably didn't want to release that type of stuff, or because of his kid and things like that. 'Cause he even said in his IG, this is this type of sad that his kid got to go to school, and they probably gonna like talk about this, but shit, damn. Oh, you can't deny the things that Diddy was involved with, boy. Can't deny it. But crazy, crazy for that to see, and that's gonna be people be talking about that in the tape. She damn sure ain't like no damn victim. Damn sure no victim in that. So, but I don't know where you go from there. I don't know where you go from there. But Diddy's a wild, 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 wild guy, boy. He's a wild guy, wild boy. Oh man, to have women do that for him and things like that he pay, and he wants to see that. It's he's a super freak, super freak. He's super freaking. Oh man. But also wanted to shout out Eddie Murphy. Getting the AFI Lifetime Achievement Award. Yeah, round of applause. to Eddie Murphy. That's definitely overdue, icon, legend. So he from the Nutty Professor. That's where he fell in love with him from his old school, or just the cop 210. Yeah, all those cops. And then for him to even branch out and do like the cartoon with Donkey, so much movies. He had so much movie, showed so much blueprint, and then what he did in SNL, just come out there to be different and be a Eddie Murphy. So hats off to him. Congratulations to him. Overdue. Definitely one of the top when it comes to comedian. Paid the way for a lot of comedians, and always gonna enjoy to see what he does even more. 'Cause I'm sure Eddie Murphy got other things because he looks still young and looks still kind of like vibrant to making jokes and things like that. So, but he did so much, and it's like unbelievable, unbelievable, and the comedians that came after him, from Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, the Chris Rocks, Martin Lawrence, like Tracy Morgan. They all kind of just pay homage to Eddie Murphy, and everybody see that he was definitely put a stamp in and gave people that spark. So definitely shout out to Eddie Murphy, and can't wait to see what he got more, because I just finished watching another movie before. So Eddie's still making movies, you know. But let's get into some motivation. Motivation. I need a motivation. Ah. So this one says a bad day or a bad week is just a reset button. Like, yeah, sometimes, like I say, you might have a bad day, you might have a bad week, but that gives you a chance to reset the button. Hit the button, reset, and just try to have a good day, or have a good week. And just try to plan it out and kind of just fucking existence. And hey, everybody has bad days, everybody has bad weeks, but hey, it can't last bad forever. So, let's turn that bad to something good. So I think about that. And I'll get into another one. Says, trust yourself and trust that you have what it takes to win. Definitely. Yeah, just keep trusting yourself. Believe in yourself. They said, yeah, believe in yourself, trust yourself. See that you have something inside there, great to win. Just keep practice, keep doing what you think you feel. Like I said, listen to that thought in your head that keeps going around in your head, and you want to just act it out and get it done. Yeah. So, trust in yourself, believe in yourself, and take the chance to try to win. That's all we got to try to do. That's what we try to do out here. So, yeah. So another episode. We got episode 101. 101. Thanks for joining me again. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and then check out everything I got going. All the music stuff out there and everything else. So then definitely check me for the next episode. In the meantime, between times, peace.
I love it. You guys are so great.